Good morning, everyone. It is Jackson and Dylan. It is the 28th, right? That's what we decided on? The 28th.
Yeah,
yes.
we just decided on the date
on
now.
the 28th. We have lost track of all days and all just life is tough. Today is superhero day. Superhero, not supervillain, but we're gonna pull a supervillain in here just because.
We want content.
We do want content. So Jackson and I are rocking our superhero shirts today. Of course, Jackson has, which one is that?
Batman.
That's Batman, apparently.
Jackson, would you do a spin? Oh, nice.
For all you, this is Superman. It's important to me that you know this isn't Batman.
Yes.
It's Superman.
And Dylan, what does yours say?
Mine is a shirt in honor of Dr. Acton, which says, "Not all heroes wear capes."
That's right. They work in the Heinen's produce department.
That's right, they do, Jackson. Repping the grocery store
Is
workers.
that what you're gonna wear to work tomorrow?
If I was allowed.
Okay.
I don't work tomorrow.
So we have a fun episode, and Mrs. Zigray already wants the camera back.
That's right.
So we're going to speed it up. So we have down here, you may have these at home. These are Funko Pops.
Probably not, because we have these.
Well, we
ones
have
here.
these, but you may have some at home. And these are called Funko Pops. We've accrued these over the years.
Accrued.
So this is my Iron Man. This is what, Jack? Oh, that's America.
Captain
That's
America.
Yeah. This
Yes,
is-
that is where we live, America.
This is Flash. And
The
then-
Flash.
The Flash, pardon me. And then this is Thanos. I like the Thanos one.
Thanos is inevitable.
Yeah, I like the Thanos one. So we decided we bring those out to make the island less boring. So
Thank you,
You're
Dylan.
here, Dylan, so it's not boring.
There you go.
so Mrs. Zigray today has 2 crafts.
I have one that I'm going to talk about briefly, and then we're going to make our own cape.
Okay,
Sounds
well then
so
let's
fun.
do that.
Okay,
now.
are you ready to
I'm
switch,
gonna
Dylan?
Take the camera.
All right,
from you.
Jackson, you stay there.
I'm
Okay,
staying
let me just
here
do this
because
real
I'm the
quick.
essential one in this
Okay.
camera crew.
That's right, you are. All right, you'll notice, friends, take a look at my cape. Can you see it okay, Dylan?
I can. Very nice.
So fashionable.
Thank you. Good morning. Nice to see you. I have borrowed another one of Jackson's hats, and holy cow, there's a whole pulley and rope and ladder system to get all the hair under here. Whew, it ain't pretty. But we're gonna make one of these in just a minute. But first, I am very excited that
Excited.
Very excited.
I cannot even tell you how excited I am.
I am excited. I get to send home a craft to both kindergarten classes. Thank you. So you'll remember I showed this on the episode, I believe it was episode 18, where we used the M&Ms and we made the rainbow design on the plate. So, and I had mentioned then that normally this is what I hang from the ceiling in our classrooms. I take the snowflakes down and these go up.
You want to know who made that?
Oh, yes.
That's kindergarten artwork right
No.
there that I made last year.
He made it, I know, I make my kids do all the crafts so that I know if Jackson can do it, then the kindergartners probably can do it. All
It's a
right.
compliment,
It's a
Jackson.
compliment.
Thank you.
Anyway, so I am very excited that I can send home a craft for both classes. So it is roughly this craft. I just had to change a couple things. So everybody is gonna get the cloud that I've already cut out. You're welcome. Normally I torture everybody and make everybody work on fine motor skills in class. It's already been cut out. I have already hole punched it and put the string. I have already hole punched it for your rainbow. You're nearly done. I have done the first color of the rainbow.
What?
Thank you. You'll notice in here I have the rest of the colors. So what you need to do is take out, what would be the next color to go here?
Orange.
Roy G. Biv.
Right, Roy G. Biv. You would do orange all the way down, yellow all the way down, green all the way down, blue, purple. All right?
I think
And
Roy G. Biv.
Let it
are
go.
you doing violet instead of purple?
Well, you got indigo.
Oh, we don't have
Indigo's not a color.
Anyway.
We decide on colors just like the date.
So, and I also tucked in a little instruction thing, but it's pretty is. This is pretty much it. So I'm gonna go to the school today, so I will get them put into both classrooms. We will lovingly tuck them into your boxes. When you get them home, put them together. It is totally optional, just for fun. So if you don't wanna do it, I don't care, don't do it. But if you do it and hang it up, and then it's kind of fun for me to picture that we have them all hanging around all together at the same time. So, all right, on to our capes. So I found a thing online where you can make your own cape, but you don't have to know how to sew or anything like that. So Jackson.
Uh-oh.
So friends at home, find a shirt that you don't like anymore. It doesn't fit. It has chocolate milk stains on it. It's all frayed at the edges. Not a good shirt. This is a bad play shirt that has seen much better days.
I do need this back
You cannot
once.
get this back. Dylan has brought me this pristine shirt that we're gonna cut up today. All right, so step one, you wanna measure.
I'll do the measuring.
Now this is a grown-up shirt, but you're gonna measure roughly from the armpit to the neck. You wanna still have the neck part when you're done.
Why are we measuring this?
Well, not measure, I meant like do it with a ruler so that you can cut on a straight line.
We're not measuring.
There's already a straight line.
I know, that's because I tried to make it goof-proof for you. Look, now you're not gonna know what line to cut on.
We're good.
Okay. Do
Not
that.
measuring.
Do that on this side too. So if you could,
Okay, look how straight that
this
is.
video is gonna be 45 minutes. And I have a lunch bunch meeting in 12 minutes. Okay,
It's actually 18.
Good math. Okay.
all right,
And then you cut on the line that was made.
yes.
We got to speed this along.
Okay.
Desperate for content.
boy.
Desperate for
Okay,
content.
that was quite a cut you had there. All right,
This is how Jackson cuts the fruit at Target.
is it?
At Target?
Yeah,
Cut
Target.
fruit at Target. Don't you work at
I
home?
don't work at Target, nor am I allowed to cut fruit.
Okay,
Okay.
so here's where we are. It's a muscle shirt, roughly. Okay, so now you are gonna cut up the sides where it already has them
Should we
lined.
measure it?
We don't need to. Where the shirt already has been sewed together, you're gonna cut that up.
We could just rip it.
Let's not.
Okay. Don't rip it.
Don't rip it.
Jackson, could you cut slower, please? We're trying to eat up time.
Are we?
No, we're not
I
trying
feel
to
like
rip
we're
it.
not trying to do that.
Okay, all right then. No, you gotta,
This is going great.
okay.
We're up to
You
12. We're up
managed
to
to cut through what you weren't supposed to cut through. This
we're
is
up to
going
12
great.
minutes.
Okay, if you could just cut just this and not the shirt underneath.
Hey, dude. We're crunched for time. We don't
I
want
know.
this to consume the entire kid's days.
All right, if you really are confused by this, and why wouldn't you be? Go on Pinterest for the no sew cape. If I think of it, I'll try to put a link or something in.
And then you have to
Okay.
cut off the last part.
No, now wait, you have to cut around this collar, but you have to leave a little bit, otherwise you don't have anything.
Okay.
Okay, you're already up too high.
No, I'm below the line, dude.
Dude. Okay.
Press for time, Julie. Press for time.
We're really not pressed for time.
I think we are.
15 minutes.
Okay, so when you're done, you have this piece of work. Boy, it's something. It's something. And then on the back,
If there wasn't a hole in
if
it.
there wasn't a hole in it, you could
Aha!
you could decorate it. If you used a light color shirt, you could take markers on it, go to town, and then you kind of have a no-sew cape. Yes. Good
Or
luck.
a fashionable shirt.
Hopefully you can figure that out at home. Okay, stay tuned for the book. All right, welcome back. We're starting chapter 7 today. You'll remember the end of chapter 6. They were kind of cornered by the guards, and Annie showed them the flashlight that they had never seen because she's from the future, and they managed to escape. Chapter 7, A Secret Passage. Annie and Jack raced back up the winding stairs and down the long hallway. They hadn't gone far when they heard shouting behind them. Dogs barked in the distance. "They're coming!" Annie cried. "In here," said Jack. He shoved open a door off the hallway and pulled Annie into a dark room. Jack pushed the door shut. Then Annie shined her flashlight around the room. There were rows of sacks and wooden barrels. "I'd better look in the book," said Jack. "Give it to me." Annie gave him the flashlight and his backpack. He pulled out the book and started tearing through it. "Shh," said Annie. Someone's coming. Jack and Annie jumped behind the door as it creaked open. Jack held his breath. A light from a torch danced wildly over the sacks and barrels. The light disappeared. The door slammed shut. Oh, man, whispered Jack. We have to hurry. They might come back. His hands were trembling as he flipped through the pages of the castle book. Here's a map of the castle, he said. Look, this must be the room we're in. It's a storeroom. Jack studied the room in the book. These are sacks of flour and barrels of wine. Who cares? We have to go, said Annie, before they come back. No, look, said Jack. He pointed at the map. Here's a trap door. He read aloud. This door leads from the storeroom through a secret passage to a precipice over the moat. What's a precipice, said Annie. I'm wondering that as well, Annie. I don't know. We'll find out, said Jack. But first we have to find the door. Jack looked at the picture carefully. Then he shined the flashlight around the room. The floor of the room was made up of stones. The trapdoor in the picture was 5 stones away from the door to the hall. Jack shined the light on the floor and counted the stones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He stamped on the 5th stone. It was loose.
Stomped or stamped?
Stamped. Stamped is what it says. Thank you. With an A. He put the flashlight on the floor. He worked his fingers under the thin sheet of stone and tried to lift it. Help, Jack said. Annie came over and helped him lift the stone square out of its place. Underneath was a small wooden door. Jack and Annie tugged on the rope handle of the door. The door fell open with a thunk. Jack picked up the flashlight and shined it on the hole. There's a little ladder, he said. Let's go. He clipped on the flashlight and felt his way down the small ladder. Annie followed. When they both reached the bottom of the ladder, Jack shined the light around them. There was a tunnel. He crouched down and began moving through the damp, creepy tunnel. The flashlight barely lit the stone walls. He shook the light. Were the batteries running down? I think our light's dying, he said to Annie. Hurry, she called from behind. Jack went faster. His back hurt from crouching. The light got dimmer and dimmer. He was desperate to get out of the castle before the batteries died completely. Soon he reached another small wooden door. The door at the end of the tunnel. Jack unlatched the door and pushed it open. He poked his head outside. He couldn't see anything in the misty darkness. The air felt good, cool and fresh. He took a deep breath. Where are we? Whispered Annie behind him. What do you see? Nothing, but I think we've come to the outside of the castle, said Jack. I'll find out. Jack put the flashlight in his pack. He put the pack on his back. He stuck his hand out the door. He couldn't feel the ground, just the air. I'm going to have to go feet first, he said. Jack turned around in the small tunnel. He lay down on his stomach. He stuck one leg out the door, then the other. Jack inched down, bit by bit, until he was hanging out the door, clinging to the ledge. This must be the precipice, he called to Annie. Pull me up. Annie reached for Jack's hands. I can't hold you, she said. Jack felt his fingers slipping. Then down he fell. Down through the darkness. Splash. Uh-oh. He's into the moat. I hope there's not alligators in there. Oh, it's the end of the chapter. All right, see you tomorrow.